Darth Vader hated the Jedi Temple. He hated everything that it represented. He hated the order that raised him, judged him, and that ultimately betrayed him. During Operation Nightfall, he attempted to burn the temple to the ground, to erase every stone and every memory tied to the legacy of the Jedi. But his hatred for the temple goes far deeper than his hatred for any Jedi. It was a wound that follows him into the rise of the Empire, and a wound that grows into something much darker. Something that he never expected. Because the temple did not die the night that it fell. It changed. And when Vader returned to it as the Emperor's apprentice, he discovered that the place he once walked as a child had become something far more sinister. The halls he had once walked as Anakin Skywalker, the halls filled with the quiet judgment, the whispers of the Jedi Masters watching him, they now felt inverted. They no longer judged him. They mocked him. They did not fear the monster he had become. They did not recoil from his anger or the power of the dark side that now radiated from him. Instead, the walls seemed confident, almost bold, as if they understood a truth about Vader that no one else had recognized. The temple had become a new domain, one where Vader did not have authority, one where his presence meant nothing or little. Vader could feel it, a pressure, a tightening in the Force, a sense that the building itself resented him. Every instinct he had screamed that he did not belong there, that he was being watched, not by the Jedi this time, but by something new. Vader had burned this place to the ground. He had stained its floors in blood. He had slaughtered every Jedi inside that he could find. Yet somehow, the temple felt more alive now than it had when the Order ruled it. It had been reshaped into something else, something that did not recognize him as master, something that did not respect him even as a Sith Lord. And that realization, that quiet rejection, cut deeper than any memory of the Jedi. This reveals a truth that he does not want to confront. Darth Vader realizes that this place belongs to someone else. Not Vader, not the Jedi, not even the Sith. It belongs to the Emperor. Greetings, acolytes and lore junkies, and today we will break down exactly why Darth Vader hated the Imperial Palace, as well as explain why Palpatine was exceptionally strong there, and why Vader was exceptionally weakened. Unlike the halls of the Imperial Palace, the archives here are always open. No shrines bend the Force, no secret pressure pushing you down, just shelves upon shelves of forgotten legends, strange lore, and the deepest Star Wars knowledge that we can uncover. If you want to keep exploring the mysteries of a galaxy far, far away with us, then step inside and hit that subscribe button. The next secret is waiting. Today's lore comes from the Dark Empire sourcebook. As Vader moves deeper into the halls of the temple, something becomes unmistakable. The building is not different because of the Imperial banners or new architecture. The very air feels changed. The Force has changed here. The temple Vader once knew is gone. The structure feels ancient yet newborn, as if its identity has been rewritten in his absence. Vader pauses in one of the central corridors. He remembers standing here as a boy, gripping his training lightsaber, attempting to quiet the storm inside his mind, the Jedi behind him whispering to one another. He remembers fearing their judgment, their disappointment, and sensing their doubt. Those voices had followed him for years. They had shaped his anger long before the dark side ever touched him fully. But now, as he stands in the same place, he hears nothing of the Jedi at all. Instead, the silence presses into him, heavy, unyielding, not empty or peaceful, a silence that watches him. This unsettles Vader. This place does not fear him. It doesn't recognize him as conqueror. It feels almost amused that he has returned, as if it knows something that he does not, as if it is waiting for him to understand. Vader extends his senses outward, attempting to grasp what has changed. As Anakin Skywalker, he would never have noticed anything amiss beyond the natural tension of a spiritual sanctuary. But as a Sith Lord, with the dark side sharpened within him, he sees patterns etched beneath the surface. He can sense subtle currents of power that move through the walls, through the floors, through the foundation of the structure. Power that is old and chaotic, wild. Power that is now organized, directed, and claimed. Vader sees what no Jedi could. He sees the faint geometric patterns carved into the stone. He recognizes shapes and angles that have no place in Jedi architecture. He senses runes embedded beneath layers of reconstructed walls, placed with surgical and meticulous precision. They hum faintly with energy, dormant eyes that open only for a single master. Vader's unease begins to transform into something colder. It is not a building reclaimed by the Empire. It's not even a monument to victory. It's something else. Something not built to honor, but to empower Palpatine. Vader realizes that whatever the temple has become, it was not created to elevate the Sith. It has been made to elevate Sidious alone. He doesn't understand how. He doesn't see the whole picture, but he can feel the truth approaching him like a shadow stretching across the threshold. The temple has not changed hands. It's been reforged, reshaped, and the deeper he walks into it, the more he understands that he has stepped into a place where his power and his identity mean very little. In this place, Vader is not a Sith Lord. He is not the executioner of the Jedi. He is not the chosen one of prophecy. Here, Vader is the apprentice, and the temple knows it. To understand what the temple has become, Vader must confront what it always was. Before the Republic ruled Coruscant, before the Jedi understood the nature of the Force, there was a shrine buried deep beneath the planet's surface. This was a place of ancient evil, built when the Sith ruled the planet. When the Jedi first discovered it, they understood immediately that they could not destroy it, only bury it. So it was upon this site where they built their temple. They raised their spires and libraries, their meditation chambers over the ancient wound in the Force. And for centuries, the Jedi told themselves that the light would smooth the darkness. They told themselves that their presence, their rituals, their belief in the Force would purify the land. They believed that if they ignored the shrine long enough, that it would fall silent forever. But the shrine never fell silent. The Jedi only stopped listening. During the Clone Wars, Sidious began exploring the shrine in secret. While serving as the Chancellor above, he walked the halls of the Senate by day and descended into the darkness as a Sith Master by night. He discovered that the shrine beneath was still alive. The light of the Jedi had not cleansed it. The centuries hadn't even weakened it. If anything, the years of suppression had allowed the shrine to steep with untapped fury. He spent years unlocking it. He learned how to draw the power outward without alerting the Council. He learned to mask his presence in the Force by feeding on the Nexus's dormant strength. And slowly, ritual by ritual, Sidious began shaping the shrine into something that would serve him. It wasn't enough to harness it. He needed to tame it, and better, to own it. And slowly, Anakin Skywalker became the shrine's favored prey. It knew him. The rituals Sidious performed during the Clone Wars did not simply hide him from the Jedi. They softened Anakin. They fractured his spirit. They stirred the darkness already growing inside of him. The shrine amplified his fears. It magnified his attachments. It fanned every ember of rage that Sidious carefully provoked. The shrine did not convert Anakin, but it eroded boundaries that once protected him. The Jedi sensed a growing disturbance, but they never suspected the source was beneath their very feet. They believed that the war, the Sith, the chaos of the galaxy was responsible. They never discovered that their own temple had become the beating heart of darkness that they were attempting to seal. When nightfall arrived and the temple fell, the shrine was unbound. The order that had buried it was gone. The rituals that muted it were torn apart as the Jedi themselves were. And Sidious, now the Emperor, no longer required to hide his work. The true power of the shrine was free for the first time in thousands of years. And so the Emperor rebuilt the temple into a palace. He opened sections of the structure that the Jedi had walled off. He allowed the shrine's energy to flow upward. And most importantly, he tuned it. He carved the walls with new runes. He aligned the floors with precise Sith geometries. He shaped the corridors to guide power towards a single point, a single throne, a single master. The Jedi had tried to bury it, Sidious unearthed it, and Vader had freed it. This was a building raised from Jedi stone, but filled with Sith sovereignty, a structure born from centuries of repression. The shrine was no longer a secret. It is the heart of Imperial rule, and Vader feels its pulse cleanly now. When Vader finally reaches the upper levels of the palace, he finds his master waiting. Sidious stands before the panoramic windows, his hands folded peacefully, gazing down at the endless lights of Coruscant. He turns as Vader approaches and offers a smile that most would seem as warm. He calls Vader friend. He speaks gently, softly, greeting an old trusted companion. But Vader knows the truth. The kindness is a mask. Every word he speaks is wrapped in layers of intent. Each sentence is a test. Their conversations are always polite, but beneath the calm tone lies a struggle of will, an exchange of pressure and resistance, a push and pull within the Force that neither of them would ever acknowledge aloud. This is what it meant to be Sith. In any other place in the galaxy, Vader can push back. He can assert his presence. He can let the power within him swell as a storm, but not here. Not in the palace. Not in the heart of the shrine that Sidious has claimed. Here he feels the difference immediately. His connection is dimmed, not severed or broken, but dulled. The precision that normally he commands is muted. The dark side does not rise to meet him the way that it should. It moves sluggishly. Here, of all places, he is utterly outmatched. And Sidious feels it too. He does not show it, but he feels it. He speaks in gentle tones because he knows he does not need to raise his voice. In this place, he is untouchable. The shrine sings to him alone. The power flows through the walls as if veins into his heartbeat. When he reaches out, the Force answers instantly, eagerly, as though it has been waiting for him. And Vader senses it as well. He senses that here his master is stronger than anywhere else in the galaxy. The shrine gives him such clarity that the slightest ripple of his presence feels overwhelming. For Vader, the effect is unmistakable. If he attempts to challenge Sidious here, if he even allows his thoughts to drift towards rebellion, the Force will betray him. This is why Sidious built his throne here, not for symbolism alone or for history, but because the palace is the perfect shield against other Force wielders. Not Vader alone. Sidious's protection is woven into the stone and the air. The shrine makes him invincible without a single physical barrier. If it can dull Vader, the most powerful darkside warrior of the entire era, then the effect on lesser Force sensitives is unimaginable. Any survivor, any Inquisitor, any acolyte who stepped into this place would feel their power collapse with a whisper. They are spiritually disarmed before they ever lift a hand. Sidious knows it. Vader knows it. But they never speak it. They never acknowledge the invisible war. But each time Vader enters the palace, each time Sidious greets him with a smile, they both understand. This is a place where the master cannot be overthrown. Here is a place the apprentice cannot rise. This is a place where the rule of two is absolute and unbreakable. And Vader despises it here. Here the Dark Lord is forced to confront something. He has now traded one set of chains for another. The Jedi held him back with rules and expectations. The Sith held him back now with power and inevitability. The Jedi caged his potential, and Sidious has caged his future. And the most devastating part of it all is that these chains are all that Vader has left. The Imperial Palace actually sees Vader in his true position, with perfect clarity, not as a partner, not as an heir, not as a second Sith Lord rising towards supremacy. Palpatine has made sure that when he enters the Imperial Palace, he knows his place always. There is no place in the galaxy where Darth Vader is more of an apprentice than here. And the chains that bind him are not forged from metal or fire. They are built into the stone beneath his feet. They are built into the Force that moves through the air. Sidious has created a prison without walls, and Vader realizes that he walks willingly inside. This all comes from the Dark Empire sourcebook. It's here where we find the description of the Imperial Palace's dark signature, the suppression of other Force sensitives within the walls, and the amplification of the Emperor's power through the ancient shrine. It confirms Palpatine mastered the nexus that the Jedi once attempted to bury. It has become a fortress that serves him and him only. This is a tragic detail in the lore that I think many have overlooked. It adds a profound depth to the tragedy of Vader. This place, where he trained as a child, where he once dreamed of becoming a Jedi Knight, it has become a place where he feels his greatest defeat as a Sith. It's not a defeat of combat, but it's a defeat of his identity. A reminder that even at the height of his power, that the shadow of Sidious will always tower over him, and that it always has. It is a symbol of Vader's truth. He did not overthrow the Jedi to claim a future. He helped to create a throne that only his master can sit upon, and the change he forged for himself in that moment echo throughout the rest of his life and its halls. But as always, my friends, thank you so much for exploring this forgotten corner of Star Wars legends. May the Force be with you in all of its mysteries, and may it continue to reveal the stories hidden deep beneath shadow. Have a great day.